Tumina Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a new day, a bright Sunday, a day that the Lord has made, that we should all be glad and rejoice in it. You don't like this day? Which other day would you prefer? It should be very bright. It's not all that bright from my end, but I'm very sure wherever you are, it might be brighter than what we are having. But all the same, once we have life, we should have a brighter day. This afternoon is yet another episode of Health Issues. Today is a very important topic that we're bringing across. It doesn't matter who you are, you might come across this in your life. Whether you are married or not, it might be from a family issues, work issues, friendship, not necessarily mutual, married or unmarried, a common condition that is affecting all of us. Therefore, we should invite our friends and family. Click on the link, the notification bell, so that you receive every program that comes from this platform. Invite friends and family. If you have the link, just share it to everyone so that everyone will enjoy the benefit that we are having from this platform, Richmond Media, this afternoon, coming to your doorsteps from no other station than Richmond Media. This afternoon, I have with me, the topic is depression. At the end of the day, we will understand what depression is, the link to depression, how it affects us socially, psychologically, possibly physiologically. This afternoon, I have with me my dear sister. She's very, very beautiful inside and out. If you keep watching us, you will understand where I'm coming from. And she's no other person than Mrs. Cecilia Akaadom. Sister Cecilia, you're welcome to our platform.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
And we have my blessed brother with me. Without him, this program is impossible to be featured. He is always avail himself to join us this afternoon. And it's my own brother George Ackon. Brother George, you're welcome once again to Richmond Media.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yes, as today we have increase in numbers, that shows how fruitful this platform is bringing or becoming to everyone. This afternoon, depression is one of the main conditions affecting so many people. I cannot give you the estimated number, but possibly as we go along, we might come across that one so that we know that it's many people that are being affected by this condition. So just be vigilant. Open your ears and sit quietly and listen to what our guests have for us this afternoon. My guests, please, the floor is yours. I know, or we all know, that depression is linked to mental health. So if we can have the overview of mental health leading to depression. Thank you.
Okay, so should I start first?
Yes, please.
Yes, and I hope you can hear me well. Is that okay?
Very well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So mental health is when we say mental, we know it's got something to do with the brain in general. So everything about the brain is the health part of the brain, if I'm making sense here. So mental health is something that has got to do with the brain. So what is mental health in general? Mental health includes the psychological, um, the emotional, and the social well-being of an individual or of a person. Yes, as you can see, my brother has been so good to me. He's been able to produce slides for me as well. So thank you, Mr. Ackon. So it, as I said, it includes psychological, the emotional, and social well-being of an individual. So when we take, so I'm gonna take them into, I'm gonna mention how it affects the human being. So when we talk about the psychological well-being, what it means is that it refers to the individual's emotional and overall functioning, how the emotional well-being and then the overall functioning. So that is what we refer to as the psychological well-being. Now I'm going to talk about the emotional well-being. And what is emotional well-being? Which is also the ability to handle life stresses, right? And adapt to changes and difficult times. That is what we that is what it refers to. That is what we refer to as the emotional well-being. And then also, because we don't have time, so we're gonna kind of like go straight to the point. I'm not going to explain things here. So, and then we talk about the social well-being. And what is social well-being? We all know social is building up of relationship with other people. So how we are able to relate to other people, that is also the social well-being part. So as I said, that is the overview of mental health, the psychological, the emotional, and then the social well-being. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Cecilia. Brother George, have you got anything to add to what we have at the moment?
Okay, so to dive deeper to our lesson, it's good for our cherished viewers and our cherished listeners to understand that whenever we are talking about something called mental health, the moment you hear about mental health, it's most people link to someone who is the in quote they will say that, oh, he's at a psychiatrist, so he has just put off the shirt and co, and that person is mentally ill. But in this lesson, we want to just bring it up that most of our viewers and our listeners overlook the mental health nature of either their children, their spouse, anyone. Therefore, it's important that whenever there is a problem that is affecting how individual interacts with the other, then we are saying that socially, no, this person is not mentally sound. Then when things overcome, the person is not able to adapt to certain stresses or certain challenges. That's what she was explaining about the emotional. And when you talk about the psychological aspect, so it tells us that as we are walking one way or the other, any day, anytime, most of us go through mental illness. So whenever we are talking about mental illness, don't just point to those who are eating from the gutters and the rest. Therefore, how can we maintain the health of our mind or our brain?
Yeah.
That's what
Brain. Yeah.
we'll dive deeper into it. And one of the common things we mostly neglect is the topic we are about to enter. That's depression. So I
Yes.
think this is the overview we all need to understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, lady and gentlemen. At this point, if we have been able to clarify on what how mental health brings about depression as the main topic, then can we please understand what a depression is?
Okay, so I want to explain it. When we talk about depression, depression is, we all know that um, we kind of like, our mood changes every, every now and then. And sometimes we feel so unworthy. Sometimes we don't want to go out. Sometimes we don't, there are so many things that we're not able to do. Like, let's say that um, you have to go to work every day, but then for some reason you're not able to go to work. You just want to stay in bed or stuff like that. Let's say there are activities that you want to do and you don't do them anymore. Okay, mind you, depression. When we talk about depression, we don't say that uh, activities that we okay, so let's say there are activities that we are supposed to do but we are not able to do them properly, right? When it comes to that persistent of it, okay, as a human being there are so many things that we have to do into this world to fulfill our lives, but if you are not able to do them, then we call it depression. Like, persistent of it is what we classify as depression. So I'm trying to say, I'm not trying, because a lot of there are questions when it comes to depression. People think that when they're tired and they don't want to do anything, they've worked so hard and they don't want to do anything. All that they want to do is to stay at home and relax a bit. That is quite normal. That is very normal for an individual, for everybody on this planet. It's okay to get tired. It's okay to feel sleepy. It's okay to sometimes have a mood swing, but whereby it becomes a persistent thing, it persists, then we classify it as depression.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, sister. Brother George, you want to come in?
Okay, so as we are talking about it persistent, with regards to depression, there should be that persistent sadness. So it doesn't mean that when you are going to eat, when you reach there, the food has finished. So that sadness, then we claim, I'm depressed. I'm suffering from depression. No, there should be that persistent feeling of sadness. And
Mm.
another thing too is that it should cause a significant impairment in your daily life.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yes.
It will cause a persistent, a significant impairment. So, oh, I'm sad because I'm not able to get what I like, I want to eat. But the person is continuing with something that he's doing. But you see some different individuals who have persistent feeling. You always see them sadness. They are to type, but you go, the sheets are there. They are not able to. So it's impairing something that you can see that, oh, this person within 10 minutes, he has finished typing. He has finished the activity. So when you are an employer, you see your employee over some short period in time experiencing some of these things, pay close to attention to that individual, because that person might be suffering from what we call depression. It's not sadness. For sadness, it's just a temporal thing, and it does not
Yeah.
cause impairment of daily
Mhm.
activity or daily life. But for depression, the difference is that it's persistent, and also it will let the person lose certain activities that he always been interested. Then number three, should cause significant impairment of daily life. Thank you.
Yeah. So, what? Sorry, if I may
Yes.
come in, it's
Mm.
not just sadness. You could have depression and still not feel sad. You still we most of the times we think that sadness is but how about if you lose the activity, if you lose the strength, you feel so low, you feel so down. It doesn't have to be only sadness, but if you feel so down at all times, you feel hopeless and those kind of things. So with that, we can also classify you as having um, um, depression as well. So there are so many types. There are so many signs that we can classify you as someone who is having depression. Yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, then can we have signs and symptoms of depression?
Okay. So as my brother was also saying, the first one is let's say you have low energy, very very low energy. All that you want to do in the mornings, you wake up in the morning and you feel like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. All that I want to do is to go back to sleep or go back to bed. But I'll tell you what, you can't even sleep when you have those feelings. You feel low energy. You would have that low energy. Some of it could also be, as my brother said, feeling sad at all times. You just a little thing, you're sad. You start to cry. Just a slightest thing, you're sad. So that is also another symptom of depression. And then you can also have sleep changes. It's either you can sleep too little or sleep more. It's either too little or more than necessary. We can also use that to classify you as that also was another symptom of depression. Also, loss of interest in the activities that you do. Let's say you liked playing football. Let's say you like going to work. You like doing things on time, but all of a sudden, you don't want to do that anymore. That is also another symptom. And then difficulty in concentrating. You can't concentrate like you used to. You find it very very difficult to concentrate or even make decisions. you know and also you get so frustrated. Every little thing you are frustrated. Irritable, yes, irritability is also another part of it. You get so frustrated in things that you do, and you um uh I think we've said a lot. Sleep changes. I don't know if I've made mention of that as well. Sleep changes. It's either you sleep too little or you sleep more than necessary. And self-harm. We do get people with self-harm as well. They kind of like cut themselves because of irritability. They kind of like self-harm themselves, cut themselves. We do see a lot of patients with that kind of thing. And then the sad part is suicidal. People tend to call suicidal due to depression, but what I would say is that is the last bit, feeling suicidal. So as soon as you see that you're feeling that kind of stuff, you really need to go and see your doctor, because your brain at that time, you've got to the last end. And at that age, at that time, I would say really go and see your doctor. When you feel like killing yourself or committing suicide, you really have to take that seriously. Yeah. So these are some of the symptoms. I wouldn't say, I think these are most of the symptoms that when you come to the clinic, we kind of like ask you. And if we get all these, about 6 of them, then we can classify you as someone who is depressed. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Akando.
Akaadom.
Akaadom. Okay. Okay. Akaadom.
Akaadom. That's my name.
Wow.
Yes.
Grace. This is what is needed. That is great name. I was trying to be fancy to make it Akaadom. Akaadom. Sorry, my dear.
Akaadom.
Akaadom.
That's
Very
that's
nice
okay.
name. I love it. Brother George, have you got any more to add, please?
Okay, so she has said, I think most of them, all of them, for now. And you realize that if that individual have eating changes or diet
Yes.
changes,
Yes.
you realize that the one who is overeating become obese, while
Yes.
the one who is not able to eat becomes slim. That's why two people might be suffering from depression. But one you see and you see the body being fat and you think the person is cool. and one to be slim, you think the person is going through some slimming course. No, depression can really do a lot because of the change of diet as well as the sleeping. You see some individuals, oh, no matter what, they are on sleeping tablet, but they will sleep and wake up. So others will have the passion of not able to sleep at all, while some they will sleep, but middle of the night, then they are awake. So we have those things too. So we want to bring this on board so that our viewers and our listeners, it might be that myself, I am going through that process, but you, the one who I'm close to, whenever you see that, oh, I like playing football, but today or some days, whenever you are going, it's like, I'm not coming, I'm not joining, not because of anything, then it will prompt you to be more particular about the actions I am putting on. Because as she said, suicidal effects become the last 10 idea. So if you neglect these things, you end up letting the person push the person to the wall, and at the end the suicidal ideas will come in mind. So we need not to be shouting on our employees, our children, our wives, any or husbands anytime there have been persistent change of activities, but rather let's assess to see what is really causing that, because that might be that the person is going through some depression, and these are some of the signs and symptoms that can pop up. Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank
also,
you.
can I come in?
Yeah, sure.
Just yes. When we're talking about the eating habit, the eating disorder, most of the time, people with depression crave sugary stuff, a lot of carbohydrate, because all that they want is having comfort in food. Let's say you don't want to go somewhere, you don't want to go anywhere. All that you want to do is to stay in your room. You don't want to do anything, right? So it's either you go out there and then start nibbling all the carbohydrate stuff or the sugary stuff. Normally, that's what they crave. Or they don't eat at all. They don't eat at all because all that they want to do is to stay in bed. So with a healthy person, that person would go for uh, let's say vegetables or fruits and those kind of things. But when it comes to people with depression, they crave for sugary stuff, a lot carbohydrate stuff. So when you see that you're craving all these kind of stuff, and also not wanting to do anything, then there is a high probability that you might have depression. Yeah. Mm.
Thank you so much. Now that we know the signs and symptoms, so when they are popping up, we can figure out to see that this is the point for us to approach our clinic or to see our doctor or to see our medical professional. That is what we have been given. If that's the case, could we please understand the types of depression that we have so that when the doctor mentions your type, you will be familiar with it? Thank you.
Okay, so when it comes to the types of depression, there are so many types of them. Um, there is the clinical depression, whereby you feel sad and low or worthless for most days for at least 2 weeks or more, um, and also having sleep problems or loss of interest. So this we call it clinical depression. That is the main one, and then we have the persistent one, persistent depressive disorder, which we call the PDD. With that, is from mild to moderate one, from mild to moderate for at least 2 years or more. With that, we call it that you have PDD. And then there is one called the disruptive mood regulation disorder. In short form, they call it DMDD, which is the intense irritability or the frequent anger outbursts in children. So with this one, normally it's for children. And I forgot to tell you that children also suffer depression because of, we all know that this world is changing. And due to this, with what is going on, children also go through depression as well. And we have the premenstrual, the PMDD, which when I say premenstrual, the mood, hormonal changes during period, menstruation period. Um, that is also another type of depression that people get. And then also the seasonal one. I think I even made a video on the seasonal depression, which normally happens in the third world countries, where where they have like seasons, like summer, winter. We all know that during winter, the weather changes. Like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the weather is gone dark. But during summer, we have a lot of sunshine. So lack of vitamin D, with that one, lack of vitamin D can also cause seasonal depression. And then we have the prenatal one, where somebody gets pregnant and think, oh my God, what have I done to myself? I wasn't ready for it, but then want to keep the baby. With that one, they can also suffer depression. And postnatal, where they have the baby and then without any help from either a family member or other people, or without any help, they can also suffer depression. We call it postnatal, or in the US, I think they call it postpartum depression. And atypical depression, which is also known as atypical features, like very vary from atypical, is a temporary mood improvement in response to positive events. So these are some of the depression, types of depression that I can tell at the moment, or we have in the system at the moment. So yeah, these are the types of depression that we have.
Thank you so much, sister. Brother George, do you want to come in, or should
Yeah,
we?
I think these are the major types that we can dive to, so that it will help. Knowing the type is very important, especially if you are a husband or a male, so that when you realize that anytime it's approaching certain month, your wife's mood change, you not say pack your things and leave the house, or that's not where you trigger fight, but you understand that there's a type of depression that we call that premenstrual depression, and that alone will signify or signals you that in this time don't bring argumentative talk. In this time you know how to handle that individual. And also like the in-laws and things, knowing the type is very important, because at times you realize that most of the in-laws, most of the husbands and their expectations when it comes to their wife conceiving can push their wives to postnatal depression, because all the family members are saying go and give birth to a female, then the person gave birth to a male. So the moment they ask the midwife, what did I get? A male. But the family wants a female. That alone changes the mental state. And if you are not careful, that can also lead to these things. So we need to understand that, so that at a certain point in time, you not say that this person there, because he has get it, he don't like human beings, he don't like. No, understand, and let's understand everything that happens in anybody's life, and that can help us live peacefully and know how to also assist the care of such individual. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We know how to assist or care for such individual that will help us to live longer and to have a cordial relationship with each other. If that is the case, may we know the causes of depression. Thank you.
Thank you. So there are several causes of depression. Um, and I would make mention of the brain chemistry, as our brother has on the slide at the moment. When we say the brain chemistry, it is the imbalance of some chemicals in the brain. Like the example is serotonin. There is something called serotonin, which we call happy hormone. when there is an imbalance, when you're not able to release the amount of serotonin that you are supposed to be you are supposed to release, or even dopamine, then you can also have that can make you depressed as well. And yeah, genetics, like when a parent have it, like a mother, when you're pregnant and then you have depression, you can give it to your child, or the child can inherit it from you. And also the stressful life events, like you've lost your mother, and that is what we call trauma. So there are so many traumas that is around. So let's say you were so childhood trauma. Um, let's say you went to stay with a family member that did not like you or something like that. You know, the things that we go through around that time can also cause depression at some point in life. So that is what we call stressful life events, like work, even work. Wherever you go to work, you have this person that do not like you. So because of that, you kind of like don't like what you do. All that you want to do is to stay at home. That is also part of it. Or even your husband that you live with, probably you might not even like the person that you are living with, which shouldn't be. We should all love the people that we live with. So all those things are what we call life stressful life events. And then there are medications as well. Some of the Alzheimer diseases medications and stuff like that can give you depression. And there are there are medications that can also give you medical conditions. That's the one I was talking about. Medical condition, it's like Alzheimer's, can make you depressed. And then also other medications as well can also give you depression. So these are some of the things that cause depression. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sister Akaadom. Yes,
Akaadom. Yes, you're
Akaadom.
right. You
Akaadom.
pronounced it well.
I love it. I love the name Akaadom. That
Thank
is only
you.
grace
Yeah.
that is left for
Mm.
us to receive that will make us a
And
whole.
that's, yeah, diabetes as well. Diabetes can also lead to depression as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Brother
Mm.
George, have you got any more to add to it? Or do you want us to continue? Thank you.
Yeah, we can continue because where most people suffer this condition, when she was mentioning about a stressful life event, you realize that I might be the cause of someone's depression because I'm working with that individual. Employer, you can be the cause of your employee depression. Same way, you, the employee, you can be the cause of the employer's depression. So it tells you that whenever you want to put someone at the tight corner, you realize you put
Yes.
the person through stressful activity.
Yes.
The person will be
Yes.
thinking you are the wife, he's sleeping with you. So you realize that you are cheating. You are seeing the videos, he's sleeping with you, same bed. And you want the person to be laughing to you. So you realize that without medication, you are the cause. So we need to note that. And some individuals, the moment we mention you have a viral condition like the HIV, that alone leads to the depression.
Yeah.
Then you have
Yeah.
cancer. You realize,
Cancer.
oh, cancer.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because I'm having
Mm.
breast cancer. Yeah, I've seen some pictures. They are cutting off the breast, and if I want to go for chemo, my hair will go. My husband will he be involving or enjoying only one breast? You realize that
Yeah.
alone, and the education out there. So our viewers, if someone is going through some particular condition, do not tease the person. And to the health providers, when we are also disclosing especially some chronic conditions to some individuals, let's know how we go about it, because at times the fear alone kills the person than the real condition that might probably kill that individual. Thank you.
Yeah, may I come in?
Sure.
Like you made mention of cancer. I don't know the people that live outside Ghana, or outside Africa. I don't know a lot about Africa, but where I live, what we do is when someone is having chemotherapy, normally we give treatment. We do therapy sessions for these people, as you said, because it is a traumatic situation. We this person do not know whether he or he is gonna die or not. You know, so it becomes really hard for them. So as a therapist, or as a psychologist, or whoever, we really need to support these people. We do not have to make fun of even the chronic illnesses like hypertension, like high blood pressure, or we do not have to make fun of these kind of things. As I said, diabetes is also one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we really need to be careful with what we do. If we see someone that has gone sakura, I don't know if you do understand what I'm trying to say. You don't have to laugh at this person or say all sorts of things about them. It is, you do not know what they're going through, so we should be very, very careful with what we do, because there is a lot going on out there that we do not even know. Yeah, so that's the little thing that I would also like to add to.
Thank you so much. Do you know one thing that sometimes when I think about it, I don't know how I feel. Only from our people, that when someone has any deformity or is suffering from something, then we use that against that person, especially when they have issues with that person, particularly when, like, you have squint, and then
Yeah.
they will say when it chew, and this, is it, when you don't know that that is even a real condition that someone is suffering from it. It could be your family member, it could be even your own unborn child.
Yeah.
That could be. So put yourself in that person's shoes and see how they feel. But they will look for something that is not right on you, and then just use that orally, verbally against you, as if like you created yourself.
Mm,
Sometimes it's very painful.
yeah.
Let's continue.
Okay.
Please, how can depression be diagnosed?
Okay. So before we can diagnose someone, the person has to go and see a doctor, um, and or see a psychologist, or uh, a therapist. Okay. There are some questions that we have, and you should be able to pass at least six of them. So if you pass six of them, when I say pass, not in a positive way, but you should be able to. So we make you fill some forms. So when you take the things that we think that we if you take more than six, then there is that high probability that you are suffering from depression. Yeah.
Thank you,
Mm.
Brother George.
And
What?
also we can also ask a family member. If for the children, we ask the family member about the symptoms and signs. Um, with that, we can also use a family member to diagnose a symptom, diagnose depression as well. Mm. So, and then after that, we make you do blood. As I don't know if you know, blood tests can also show if someone is suffering from depression or not. With a simple blood test as well, that can also show if someone is having depression or not. Because, as I said, there are serotonin, because they have to check your serotonin um, hormone, that hormone, and the dopamine and stuff like that. So if we see that you are not able to release as you are supposed to, then yeah, that is how depression is diagnosed. Yeah.
Thank you, sister. Brother George, you want to add something to it?
Yeah, so as she said, before I can diagnose you that always you are having sadness, always you are having you are losing interest in certain activity. First thing, you need to see a qualified personnel. That's what we the attention should be that. Then also based on the questions, you see, we ask you when often do you experience that sadness. They'll say, okay, 3 days to my menses. Anytime I'm about to have my menses, I'm not able to eat. I feel sadness. It's like I'm lonely and those things. That will give a clue that this alone tells us that the person who is a female in front of me is suffering from what we might call the pre-menstrual issue that we talked about. So based on the assessment will help us. And we know that depression, the brain, the structure, when there's a defect in the structure, also can cause a mental condition, and depression to its part. So there's a possibility that we can do the brain scan also to assess, to know whatever might be the other causes. Then also, as she mentioned, when there is malfunctioning of the brain also have blood vessels and also feed on it through the blood. So whenever there is an impairment in blood circulation to the brain, it can be as a result of cholesterol buildup in the blood. It can be as a result of any other impairment relating to blood issue. Then we take blood sample so that we will know either you are having fat, the high cholesterol level in your blood, or also the infection can also predispose you to this kind of brain activity, impairment of those things. So the white blood cells also help us to be able to ascertain. So aside the assessment, we can go further to also do some other laboratory investigations to also help the prescriber to look out for possible causes and diagnose you better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have some comments here that we would like to acknowledge our viewers and listeners. Brother David Asiedu says, good one there. Thank you, Brother David, for watching us this afternoon or listening to us wherever you are. Sister Doris Odro Rabbi says, we are ready. Indeed, we are also ready for you. Thank you for making it possible watching us this afternoon, right from Richmond Media to the world. It looks like our time is approaching. Therefore, I would love us to leave the rest and continue next week if that will be possible, so we can have more time to elaborate on the topic, so our viewers and listeners will get the most of it. Because when you get to the treatment and the preventive measures, that is what is more, I wouldn't say it's more important, but to
It
me
is
it is
vital.
very, very vital
It is
part
vital.
of
Yeah.
the topic, so we can
Yeah.
reserve it and make our listeners and viewers understand that we are here for you. So please make ready for us for next week as we prepare ourselves for the second part of depression. So if you want to sum up what we have given to our viewers so far, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So as I was saying, um, you don't have to wait. I mean, once you start feeling all these, signs and symptoms, there is a high probability that you might be suffering depression. So don't wait till it's too late. Sometimes, most of the times, the first thing I ask my patients is, do you feel suicidal? And when they say no, I go, okay, that's better, because because when we are able to detect it properly, then we can help you. We can help you. But when we're not able to detect it properly, we when we're not able to detect it early, that's what I was trying to say, then it becomes very, very difficult for us to treat you. So as soon as you start feeling, all the symptoms and signs that we've told you, you really have to go and see someone. Go to your doctor and speak to your doctor about it. Which there are medications, and which we are going to talk about in probably next week, as Auntie says. So yeah, you really have to speak to someone if you're having all these symptoms and signs. Speak to someone. There is treatment there. Depression it's not something that is going to kill you. No, it doesn't. So you really have to speak to someone, and then we would be able to treat you, and yeah, and give you assistance as well. So yeah, that's all that I would like to.
Thank you so much. Next week, I think I have a personal question for you that you can prepare yourself for it. Is depression chronic condition? We
It
will come
is.
to it next. No, reserve it. Next week we come
Okay.
to it, please. Yeah,
All
thank
right
you.
then.
Brother Josh,
Okay.
have you got something to say about it?
Okay, what I want to tell our viewers is that don't wait till you get some condition that we are saying that it's involving a deeper damage to the brain. So you need to consult a psychiatrist or some specialist in that sort. Wherever you are working, their doors are open, free. You can just visit them. At times, the moment you enter the room, as they assess you, your conversation alone will bring up a topic. So don't wait to get a condition before you enter there. And don't also let it assume that for you to be assessed mentally means that for you to be assessed mentally means that unless you are eating from the gutter or someone is eating from the gutter. No, because when we talk about the common mental illness, depression is one of the common mental illness that is happening, and it's also one of the leading causes of suicidal ideation we
Yeah.
are seeing out there.
Yeah. And
Therefore, I want
psychologists are
to
not scary. They are not
exactly,
scary.
yeah.
Seriously, I'll tell you
Oh,
what. If you come to a psychologist or go to a
sure.
psychologist, what they do is everything. It is against the ethics and the law to share the conversation that they have with you to another person. We don't do that because it is against the ethics. So you have to feel free. Go and speak to a psychologist. Go and speak to a doctor. Go and speak to anybody at all. They won't pass on your information, because sometimes people do not want to pass on their information because they are scared, or they no, we don't do that. We never do that. Speak to someone. Get a professional person and speak to them. That is what they are there for. That is what they've been trained for. So speak to them and they will be able to help you. I promise. I would help you.
Sure.
Yes.
So whenever there is a problem that you think you are not able to hold, just walk to any facility or
Yeah.
any person. You realize
Mm.
that if the person assess your story, you realize that this one I can't handle. Let me refer you to the psychologist. Then they will take it from there. At times it will be that you are living in country A with that individual, and he think that you are friend with, and you'll be shy. He can refer you to different persons so
Yeah.
that you can
Yes.
speak to that individual. So we
Yeah.
want our viewers and our listeners, we love you all. Therefore,
Mm.
we want your mental, we want you to get mentally healthy, not
Yeah.
mental illness.
No.
Therefore, we are all available that you can consult for referrals, for education, so that at least whatever you are working for, you can chop your money and
Yeah.
watch us every Sunday. But not
Yeah.
that you get mental illness, then Sunday you are not able to watch us because of depression. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. It's really be a very, very lovely topic, as I can say. And as we prepare ourselves for next week, please, it's Akaadom. Don't forget to add your contact that people may want to contact you personally to have a personal discussion or relationship, or for advice or for a direction concerning mental health illness, not necessarily attributed to depression. Yeah. So as the day has gone by, it's so quick. When the topic becomes so interesting, that's when you see that you are far behind time. But don't let us be troubled at all. Next week, by the grace of God, if we are still surviving, and that's what everyone is hoping for, we shall meet again and complete the topic, possibly, and then start another one the following week. So, Brother George and Sister Akaadom, may the good Lord continue to bless you as we continue to journey through health issues that is our part that we are doing to help the world to live a healthy life and live longer, promoting health and creating awareness. Thank you, and we hope to see you again the same time next week. Until then, the same time next week, health issues, 3 o'clock UK time, and then wherever you are, you can convert it for Ghana. I can do the conversion for you, and that is 2 o'clock UK, 2 o'clock Ghana time. Until then, my name is Hanna Bimah, and it is bye-bye for now.
Chichi, Pino, Suli, and Giant.